Hello, curling fans. We've got a full 4 sheets. We're into the third end, so I heard someone needed me to come on and spit hot fire for this. So we're gonna make a little rundown of who we've got playing on each, what all the teams. So we're gonna start at sheet A. They're in the third end. The Bob Hogan sheet. This is Lagavulin is the team name. Gwen Krylo, sorry, and Ryan Smith and Mike Stauffer. Uh, and then they are playing the Jennings sheet, Team Jennings. I'm just going down my list and finding out where they are. You should be mainly Charlotte people, so I should know who they are. And of course, I don't. We'll come back to Team Jennings because they are not listed. And so they must have been a late addition. And then the Fort Rink. So Rink B is everybody's been changing skips. Hey, we get the bell for lunch. That's the bell for lunch. It's a little early for us. Daniel Fort, Garrett Clark is third, Eric Ryan, and Greg Whitlow. They are all the Palmetto Club. They are playing the Newfield rink. Randy Newfield, Dean Moxham is third, and Jason Newfield and Matt Jones. Randy Newfield has been a previous winner of Gritton and Granite, so the fact that he's a couple of times previous winner, so he's a really tough team. And he looks like uh, he's got a nice end setting up right now on the B sheet. He's up 4-2, and he is hammer, so he's got 4 on the outside, 2 in the 8 foot, 2 in the 12 foot. Plenty of space in between those two, so it's going to be hard to get rid of all of it. So you can kind of tell the um, Daniel is trying to discuss like how much can we blast or how much can we sit. So uh, got him in a tough spot right there. All right, sheet C. These are our finals. This is the 5th event final and 6th event final. So Wall from Knoxville, we saw them last sheet, or the last draw. And then Lockingder from Triangle, which crowd favorite, the Pineapple Pants of Chris Berry, and he's in the hack right now. The rink looks like it's setting up really promising for um, it's really promising for yellow, it looks like, although the red is in there. So he's just trying to get these taken out. Points to his shoulder, which those of you that don't use hand signals, go watch Curl Up with Jamie. She has got hand signals for that. For usually means normal weight, or some teams it's control weight. Depends on sometimes the shoulders control and the chest is normal, but it looks more like normal weight. And he peeled that right out, really nice shot, and rolled back to the middle. Peeled that yellow out, came across, and then sat in the 8 foots for shot. So, but it didn't look like it moved plenty of room. So Lockingler just lines up for another hit. And Carl's in the hack. He's bringing big weight. Oh, they're sweeping a lot, but hog to hog, they're on it early and often. They're sweeping the whole way down. Just don't want that thing to curl, and it did. It over curled a bit, but it got rid of it. So Fred's really happy about that. All right, so our 4th sheet. You saw them last draw. That was the Peachtree Crosby. Bobby Crosby. Third is Brian Hamilton, Megan Thompson, and Kenny Thompson. And it looks like they have an early 4-2 lead over the Marshall rink. And so, um, well, for some reason, so it looks like Crosby has a nice end setting up, and he's got a guarded one in the back 12. And he's got a nice little guard there, so it looks like Bill and Linda Marshall are the back end of this team, and so it looks like they're the Crawfords. Uh, and he was just a bit wide, just a bit wide. So they're going to let this curl a little bit. So he just wanted to get back here. He wanted to sit on it, which behind the tee line, that's what you have some options. You always can just tap it out. You can sit on it. So it looks like it was just a bit wide and a bit heavy. And with a little bit of sweep, it kind of goes through. So and that was Kevin Crawford as second and Lori Crawford as lead. So as we go across A, B, C, and D into the third end, that's right. I, if for some reason you actually know who I am and you actually text me, then as long as it's school appropriate, then I'll give you a little shout out. Because you know all 12 people that are watching this are just really excited that they get on the YouTubes and the interwebs. All right, so that was a very nice second guard. So they've got two biters there on the Crosby rink down here in D. Just like last end, I'm going to mainly commentate D, then move to the other sheets as we see good games and good shots happening. So, and the good and the good game and good shot. It looks like we're playing in the corner over there. There is a pile of rocks over on the left-hand side. Yep. Oh yeah, this is a takeout, and Newfield's on the broom a lot. He's trying to get this red rock out. It's coming across, getting it out, bouncing it out. Really nice shot, really nice takeout. Good weight to sit for. Yep, sit for. So that really extends the lead out to 8-2. That's a really nice um, early shot there on ring B. Yeah, he put it, and the rock was pretty much the only place he could put it is lock it on a back one, and that's a really nice shot with our rocks. If you notice that, if you were watching last week's doubles tournament, you might have noticed that Triangle has brand new rocks. I know playing with those rocks and playing with our rocks, those brand new rocks have a ton of action. So that shot would have been, last week would have been pretty common. You would have seen somebody kind of come to the nose and be able to force that one and leak it out. But for our rocks, you really have to bring a lot of weight for that shot to be successful. All right, back to sheet D. We got a little, looked like they were trying to curl around here. And just nudge that thing closer. It may be out counting that back one. It's very close, and we can, in the in-house, it looks like that yellow is just a bit closer, but you won't be able to tell much just because of the tilt of the cameras there. So, all right, so looks like sheet A. We've got it could be Could be yellow sitting three. Yellow sitting three. Yellow's the Jennings rink. Looks like the red is guarding the easy takeout, the easy tap back, but then we're going to be on. We're going to be. Um, he's going to try to. It looks like he's going to try to put it just by the signal of his teams. He's going to try to put this in the top 12 or maybe even touching the 8. That's going to make it really tough to get rid of all of those and also drawing around. So that's a really aggressive call. Very nice shot by Linda there on sheet D. If your eyes are going there, you know that they're they're trying to limit some damage, and they got. It looks like that yellow shot is actually yellow is actually shot now, so that's a really nice leave there for Linda. All right, going back to sheet D as it's coming from the hog line. You're going to see it here in your view in just a second. A is going to bring it on down. Looks like they're just up a bit, so yeah, it has big end, really big end working here. So their only shot is to draw behind it, draw to that 4 foot, maybe even on the button, but it's got to be guarded. If not, it's a kind of an easy hit. So big end working. We'll keep you updated on that. So red. So we're starting the fourth end here on sheet C. This is the fifth event or E final. And don't get confused if you see two triangle. It looks like two skips in the rings there. Chris Berry's actually playing with the Knoxville team. So early rocks here on the C sheet, but we're going to go D because it's near the end of the end here. And as Bill gets in the hack, Bill Marshall gets in the hack, and he's kind of letting them know where he wants this, how much curl he wants. It looks like, I mean, it is really close on the overhead cam on it looks like red is obviously one, but the second shot looks to be very close. It may even take a measure. So it looks like Bill just threw because he didn't want to. Yeah, he must think that he is second. Um, he must think that he's second because he was just throwing. He was just giving it a little push there, seeing if he can outcount that top one. So I don't know. We'll see what the score is. It just looked like he was a bit wide. Red has hammer. So we'll see what they come up with here. And as the sweeps on D, I'm going to put your attention on A as they come through. They're just kind of sweeping. Hopefully it sticks around. That is a really nice end. I'm not going to yell count them up, but they're going to throw a big number down on A. Team Jennings. It was a nice draw there to the 8 foot. So we'll wait for them to hang that score, but that was a really well played end. And Chris Berry's sweeping hard, trying for this takeout on sheet C. There you go. Getting a little tick. and it's corner frozen. Yeah, that was a little unlucky. And he felt like he had enough weight there to get it out, but kind of got just kind of pushed that thing back in there, corner frozen, sitting second shot. It looks like. So now Fred's gonna use that backing and kind of guard it up and make sure it's hard to get all those out in a later shot. All right, we're on to final skips rocks here on sheet A. I mean sheet D. And Bill and Linda are talking a lot about the angles, about what they would like to do. Nice shot there on sheet C. As they swept it, kept it in the top 12 and made it a little tougher to do that hit. The easier hit, which is the high side hit, and we talked about that uh, last end or um, last draw. Yeah, it was all the way to 5. You know, on sheet A, it was a 5-ender. So, so here we go. It's getting that cleared, and I think they'll be happy with that. Just unlocking those two in the back, so you got one biting up on the front and took away that uh, well guarded position. So uh, as Fred lines up, it looks like he's going to try to sit one right on top of that. And that's what his signal was. So as the stone is delivered, they're just looking for this to create a different angle to try not to let him slide that off and just run that back and really get a nice end. So looks like they're going to be pretty happy with this. It's not perfectly locked on, but it's going to curl right into a good position. Um, all right, so it looks like this is final skips rocks, and on sheet A, it looks like they're sitting potentially four right here. It was a really tough shot. That's the previous shot. Bill had you kind of have a look at that and you're thinking, oh man, I could just tap this up, or um, things could happen, but uh, just didn't curl quite as much as he wanted and just tapped it in there. So it looks like they're just trying to get something to stay in the 12 foot, and maybe it'll stay, maybe it won't. They just don't want to ruin anything. They got a big end. They're going to be happy with this. That's a pretty tight line. It doesn't look like it'll come back enough, but that's a good end for the Crosby rink in the sixth event final. So it looks like they got 4. So, so we're updating these scores live. There we go. I don't have my computer out, so I don't get to do the little commentating, and you guys can shout out to me. And I'm back. There we go. I didn't. So as we look across the ranks, A, B, C, and D, looks like our most competitive match is on B. Oh no, C. And yellow's got a big end shaping up. So we'll kind of stay with rank C for just a little while. And then as we see shots to get back in it, we'll kind of direct your attention across the rink there. So this looks like first skips rocks for Wall from Knoxville. Well, it looks like Matt's trying to. There's a nice little pocket there with those two. It doesn't look like you can bring enough weight to get those out of there, but you can definitely uh, kind of sit one in that little pocket. If you're throwing magnets on a board, that's probably where you would put that. It would be shot, and then it would be hard to get rid of. So he's got to throw it with a little bit of weight. So we got to know. The guys are sweeping hard as they're coming in. It's a lot of sweeping. Even Chris is going to come up and help. They're really trying to drive it back. And it is shot, but it just didn't dive over enough. So doesn't look like he's too upset with that shot, but this one's a little tricky. This is a little tricky takeout because um, I've taken this shot many times on our rink. In rink C, it just seems like this shot, if you don't get the right weight, it won't come back over to the nose, and you'll end up doing your work for them because you'll jam on them, and then you'll be high side and you'll be guarding it. So it's a little tricky shot right here by Fred. So he comes out, lets it go. He looks like he's a little narrow, and they're sweeping really hard. This thing's diving over, but it looks like they've got it. I mean, over here it's just trying to get a little red, but it hit the yellow first. So is it going to have enough? Carl's sweeping hard, and he got it out. Nice shot there, Fred. I knew that was the. I mean, if you throw it big weight on that shot, we know that it'll just stick on that line and stay and stay and stay, and it won't move 3 inches. So it's really nice weight control there to get that third one to count. So he still likes that. He still likes locking on to that back one and out counting those two. I don't know what the discussion is, and I don't think the alternative shot. Yeah, they're just talking about line. They're just trying to get the right line, put it back there on those last two. So on sheet D, as we come out, Kevin's second. He's delivering. He's got to go through this port and try to run this yellow back, so he needs it to curl a good bit. Okay. Yeah, we're right here, and here's Matt coming out of the hack. We're kind of zoomed in on this rink right here because this is a really tough shot. It looks like it's coming off. He's saying no. He's got plenty of room. It's a little heavier than last time. Makes sense because he was a little short on that. They just need it to curl. Chris comes out of the hack, and we said it, folks. It's a really tricky sheet coming down the center and going to the outside. Just a little heavy, but you think it's going to come that 6 foot of curl because it comes, and if he's a little bit inside of there, he actually gets almost to the nose of that other side. It's got this nice little ridge there, and we've seen it in league play, and it's a little tricky. And you don't know how the teams have kind of worked on it, but most of these folks have played 5 or 6 games, depending on how they got here. So they've played on all the sheets, so that he kind of knew. That's why Chris kind of went out the back and was kind of there. So we got a draw for 4, and this would put them up by 1 either way. Unless something big happens, it's going to be a tie game going into the 5th end. So he's got a little backing there. He came a little bit narrower, and you're going to watch this thing dive over. Watch it, and now we got to sweep for the guards. And that, folks, when they were released that stone, there was maybe 3 inches difference, and you'll see where this thing ends up. And you think that oh my goodness, Fred threw such a better shot, or Matt was wrong, and that was about just about a tiny amount of line difference at the hog line, about 3 there. So we'll go to the 5th, and we'll probably widen this back out and see the other sheets. Um, but yeah, that was a nice draw in there for 4, and so now it's the Lockinger rink is up by 1 to the 5th end. And so the other sheets doesn't looks like red has a decent end shaping up here to get back into it. On we'll bring your attention to the A rank. Paul Jennings is in the hack. It looks like these are second skipped stones, so it's 3 red right now. And as Paul slides out, oh, they're sweeping hard. I think they're just trying to take one out here, just limit the damage. It's sweep, sweep, sweep. They're coming all the way through, and he might. He had the right line. That was a good weight, right line, and it just again that's been a theme. What we've been talking about on our takeouts is if you stay on the high side, it just that shooter's energy. You can come this way. That shooter's energy just goes right into that next stone, and it just doesn't have much unless you get away from nose. So looks like they have a draw for 3, and that'll put them within shouting distance. They'll be a down 2 with 3 ends to go. So that's and then we've got good end coming here. Linda Marshall on sheet A. She just tapped theirs back. Really nice shot, even with each other. I don't know if you guys can see that on the feed here, but it looks like on the overhead shot that that one on the right, that yellow on the right where they're just looking at right now, is just so much behind that other one, but they are within an inch or 2 of each other. It's just a little bit of tilting from the camera. So 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 we've got Bobby Crosby kind of walking down, getting into the hack. And he's looking, I think he's kind of telling his front end that he wants a little bit of a roll here if he wants to get that hit and then just kind of roll under. That'd be hard to get to on that second stone. So I wasn't able to see how many red got on that um, on the final count. And here it comes on sheet A. It's coming over. It's coming over. That thing's staying out just a little bit. So he nose hit. Got that. It's not sitting shot. So yellow does have a chance here. Uh, it's like yellow's hammer. And this is the first skip stone. So still got a little curling left to do on this end. But whoever can kind of get to that other side and hit and roll under is going to have a really nice look at shot. So Linda's giving Bill a lot of ice here. They don't mind if they want to create a little space here. You might be kind of thinking, oh, if I can get maybe pop that through and slide it to the right, then I can actually our right, not his right, slide it to the left, his left, and then that just kind of duck under those cover. Then maybe he can get for a big end. You got to think if you're down five, if you got an opportunity to get a big end, then that's even better. Here, just mute the output so then it doesn't come twice through my headphones. I don't mind it coming once through, but there's Bill. Just because I can see line A really good, it looks like it's on broom. She's wanting that to curl just a bit. It's got a little heaviness to it, so it's still on the red. It's going to tick, but they'll be okay with it clearing that. Um, and Megan Thompson there, she swept that out. She's in the program. Brian Hamilton's listed as the third, but it looks like Megan's playing third. After a long weekend, positions are fluid. People can get spares. And if somebody could get on the chat, if you can see if you how much of the background noise you can hear, we can kick this mic where it doesn't get as much. Um, but please let us know if you're hearing like all the music and all the people yelling. If it's just a little noise, that's okay. That's actually nice ambiance. But um, here they go. They're on. They're on it. They're on it. They're trying to knock this yellow out. It's diving over. They're sweeping hard. It's holding the line. They're really on it really hard. And ticked the guard. Just kind of flipped through. But it did move that guard where it's guarding the second and third rocks. So looks like the chance of getting the double and getting the big end kind of went away. That was a really safe, smart shot. So if he gets it, he's happy. And if he doesn't get it, he ticks the guard and he puts that guard right in a place where it's really tough to get the double to try to get a big end. So really solid shot there by Bobby on sheet D. So we're all right. We're gonna go over to sheet B. Looks like we've got one, two, three, four in the house for yellow. So red's bringing a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Looks like third rocks. Or no, these are skips rocks. Oh, but he hit that yellow and then knocked the red. Hit the red, knocked the red into the yellow, knocked it deeper. It did look like it outcounted that biter though. So we've got still yellow sitting four, and we're trying to count rocks. I think this is yellow sitting four with not hammer. And so they're kind of deciding, do you want to put another one in or do you want to try to just guard up a whole line and then make that draw really hard for one? So as he slides down and gets ready. Yeah, Bill had a lot of work to do there. Pretty sure he got his two. We'll find out. There he goes on rink two. So we've got the Newfield sheet. They're sweeping a bit. They're just sweeping a bit. Oh, just nice second, 2, 3 guard. Just Kind of gumming things up there, making that draw for one. Uh, really, really tough. So we're trying to they're trying to engineer something here, get back into it. So it looks like he's setting up for a just take out a frustration hit and rear back. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill only got his one there on the D sheet. So it's 7-4, 7-3 going into the fifth end. Big weight on rank two. Yeah, it's as hard as we've seen this morning. He's just throwing it, and they're up, they're up, they're up, they're on it, and he's just running that back into there, seeing what he can throw into the pile. But nothing changed. So it looks like four yellow. So that would make the score 14-2 for the D D D semifinal. So we're into the sixth end. Must have missed a rock there because it was only one yellow. It's only one yellow. I don't know what happened there. Occasionally we'll miss a and we'll miss a rock, just like you guys are. We're looking at the same stream you are, and we're looking at the house rocks. And occasionally, I can pop up and kind of look around people. But if we miss a red rock in the red house, don't shoot the messenger. So there must have been one red rock out there hiding amongst all that. Yep, yep. So we've got a nice game shaping up. Good end shaping up down on sheet C. Looks like Fred's kind of getting. Carl's got the broom way out in the 12 foot. It looks like they're trying to draw around. Um, haven't had a lot of rocks out this far on sheet C. Most of the time draws is right at the edge of the 8 foot. Pretty solid 4 feet of curl just to get it to the button. Maybe 5 feet, but he's got it way out wide. They're hoping that thing comes back. Maybe even sits on the 4 foot. So as he slides out, gives it a touch more weight. It just looks like from the demeanor, just a little more weight. He thinks it's a little bit out wide too. They're waiting on it. They're waiting on it. Now they're sweeping hard. As they come into your screen, they're really getting on it. It's kind of dying out there. They really need it to dive hard. And it looks like it's shot, but just when you get used to running a certain line, getting way out wide is really it kind of hangs out there a bit. So Chris lines up, gives him a little about a foot of ice on this takeout. It looks like Red could score if he hits and sticks. Could score three. And it's going to go back and forth. I think this is the rink that is kind of going back and forth quite a bit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it didn't. Oh, it. I couldn't tell. Yeah. So looks like they're up, letting it come across. So he hits it nose. There you go. Oh, we still have one more skip stone. One more skip stone on this. So just two more rocks on sheet C. So we'll stick with the rest of the end on this. So, yep, Fred's gonna just knock this out, and hopefully he was able to see that line and see it come across that nose, and he just wants it a little bit his left if he's looking at the stone like you are on the TV. You just want to hit that little left of nose and have it slide underneath there, make it really tough, kind of steel, make it really tough. So nose hit here makes for an easy hit. So if you can get it over, so he put a little more weight on it, kind of gave it just a bit of handle. So he's just trying to get this thing to kind of curl, and it doesn't. It just looks like it's stayed out wide, just hung out wide a bit, and it was. It happens. Yeah, this is a shot for four. Yeah, shot for four. Yeah, just has to touch paint. So tough break there for Fred. I know getting out there in the so all right. I'm gonna move over to the Jennings rink. It looks like the fourth end went really well for um, Hogan from Peachtree. And it looks like they're on it. The Jennings rink is sweeping. They're sweeping hard. They're trying to get this by all three, and just was a bit short. Just ended up as a guard. They're okay with that. Um, oh, okay. Here we go. Draw for four. We're focused in on the wall rink, so it's a little tricky of a shot because I mean you want it, of course, to perfect shot here is just get it in. Yeah, it looks like they might be playing the tick for five, trying to really throw a big number up here. They already got three, so they're waiting on the sweep. They're letting this curl. Folks, you can't see it from hog to hog, but they're not sweeping this hard. They're trying to get in here and jam it up, maybe get all five to count. So they're sweeping at the end, trying to get it in. Holy smokes, folks, what a shot. Oh, he just ended up with four. So, man, that was really close. Had to have good communication as a team and hit that just at the right angle to get that to spin in and try to do. But he ended up with four. Really solid shot. Takes a 3-point lead going into the sixth end as they come back to us. You can always, if you put them all and use that slider, it'll just drag it over. So you can just put this in here and see. So yeah, so you don't have to do the other clicks. All right, so we're back on after that exciting end, four-ender. I'm kind of yeah. Let's go to sheet A. We'll put up the score if we can, and then looks like they're talking about this shot, and they're trying to yeah. Looks like on they're really talking hard about this shot. Paul's got yep. So we're trying to get a good sense of where exactly if he misses, where does that miss end up? I know I do that all the skips out there. You always want to let your folks know, like, do you want to miss heavy, miss light? There it is. They're kind of cleaning between hog to hog. We got a cleaning. So he looks like he's just going to go and tick off this yellow and maybe put it in. Oh, he's missed that was a rough break there. Rough break. He thought, yeah, it's a little bit heavy. Just a bit. He's looks a little frustrated with that shot, but it's hard. It's hard. You're coming against the normal run of things, the little coral. So weight was probably pretty good, especially if he gets that tick. Both of them stay. So it looks like that the Jennings rink just got one there on their hammer. So we've still got a good game going on A because you never know what'll happen as you come down the stretch here in these last couple of. Big shout out to Ryan Smith. He's now in the video trailer. We've got a whole two-man operation here. I mean, we have absolutely blown this thing up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. We do have an AV club here at Charlotte Curling. There's pins and everything. If you would like to be a part of the AV club, just get in touch with Neil Pfeiffer. There we go. A hit for the Newfield. They've got four sitting, and Rink B, Sheet B, is now sitting again four. This seems to be a theme. So um, they've got a little work to do here. So I know sometimes when I have when things aren't quite going my way, sometimes I just come back for a big weight hit and just relieve some tension, move some rocks. Things happen, good stuff happens, and then I can get back into it. All right. So there. So we're going to move over to the D rank, the one I have the best view of, right down the pipe here. So we've got a lot of rocks in play. It looks like red is sitting one, but it is really close between. They could be sitting two. Just from the cameras and the camera angles, it looks like you're looking straight down, folks. But it's got a little. Yeah, they're sitting. I mean, almost sitting third. Yeah, that third shot. So the whole bunch up there. So looks like this is first skips rock. So they may be just trying to pile in another over here, or maybe even a guard here, just to kind of guard that run back where yellow could then uh, tap it back a bit and then make a bigger end. So. This is either going to be a draw around this yellow on the left there, or is it going to be a guard? So we just got to know. You can't hardly tell. So they're looks like they're happy with the line and the weights a little bit. Now they're on it. They're going into coming into the hog line. Skip has them up, and then here we go. We're trying to curl it around the yellow. They're just trying to bring it in. It's just diving, 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 and it may just tick this yellow. That's an okay leave. That's an okay leave. It did not tap it any closer, and it's locked on right there. Um, all right. So as Bill gets in the hack, he's staring down. I think he likes this little tap back of the yellow. The angle is there if he taps it. He kind of keeps everything around, keeps everything guarded, and he can just tap that little yellow right in there. So they had a good look at this line. Yeah, he's tightening her up. I was about to say that we were getting to where he gave it a lot of weight. I think he was thinking that this is going to be a tap back takeout. It's got a curl. They're kind of watching it. We know that from the last game on sheet D that getting that to curl that 4 full feet at that weight. I mean that was between hack and board weight. He's just shaking his head. It, Playing through the middle, folks, when you are playing on the outsides the whole game and then you come through the middle, it's really tough as a skip to kind of get that line call because you think, oh, well, it's coming across the middle, it's going to slow up a bit. So we got a nice little shot coming in here on sheet C. Looks like it may be just sitting right on top. The red slides underneath. Yeah, there's a lot of brooms going in the air on that one. So so everybody's skating down on sheet D. They were about to set up and do it, but Megan had him come back down and take another look at this, and we've got plenty of time. These are finals, so we're gonna have a little bit more talk time. The shots seem to have a little more pressure. So Carl Biltz's rock is coming down here. I think they want it to curl and either sit right on the button or maybe even tick off this red and knock it back. So Fred has them there, and it ticks off, and oh, it just slides right nicely into the 4 foot. Nice shot, good weight control. So we're just trying to play to the center. And if you want to fade it, you can just use the fader bar. Yeah, sorry about all the video cuts and fades. We're having a little quick training session. So we're trying to get it like, that's right. We're trying to go from a 2-man operation to a giant full production 3-man staff here at the Charlotte Curling Association. Exactly. Yeah, we'll have some fun razors for the AV club. So here we go. They're kicking rocks down there on that sheet. So I don't. They'll have to hang the score on that one because we missed that shot. So sorry about you fans out there that were watching the Peachtree Palmetto game because that last shot was we just had to cut. We're not doing. No, we're not. Purposely, I do not want to do that. So as soon as that score gets hung, we'll update you on rink D. Looks like rink C is shaping up to be a good end for yellow. It's a nice center guard there, guarding that button shot. It is pinking out. I mean, it's just tantalizing right there. You just feel like if you can throw a low weight takeout and hold it just a bit, even if it flashes out, you might get both of those. And so yeah, it's just tantalizing that tiny bit of over curl. It's almost like baiting them into that hit. So so there, and here comes the rock. He's trying to get it. He's up, up, up. So no sweep on this one. It's got a good bit of handle, and it hit the red and just peeled that out. But yeah, they're just At that weight, they're just looking for it to curl just a little. And it just stayed there. Yep, that's what he's telling Chris. So, so the wall rank there. So we still, with yellow having hammer here on the sixth end, they got a good chance here. Um, Good chance for a big end. So we'll go to that rank. We'll slide it over and go right here. We like so. Fred Lockinger is in the hack, so we're gonna zoom in and watch his sheet and watch this shot. He's got So he puts it out there. He's just looking for just really covering this button shot. So they're just cleaning. They're just cleaning between hog to hog, and then um, they're just looking for this to kind of just not over curl. So yeah, they'll sweep it right at the end. Just put a wall of guards. That's really nice offset guard there. So it's the wall rink has some options here. They might just they might draw the button. That's always a great option, but he contemplated maybe even kind of sitting back here and just out counting the back one. So just limit your damage to 2 with a 3-point lead. That's a really just whichever handle you feel comfortable with. Yep. So he feels comfortable with this end turn, and if he ends up sitting in the 4-foot, that's fine. So he's kind of telling Chris there. And I don't know if you can see it on the. You definitely can't see that on the live production. But as they were having the talk back, he doesn't want this in the 8-foot. He doesn't want them between the two rocks. He definitely wants it sitting either on that back rock, out counting, or if it's coming over pretty hard, sweep it to the 4-foot. So that's a really hard get to get the 2. But at this weight, it's a lot of ice. We just saw it on the other side. It doesn't curl as much at any weight at all. So if this is a truly T-line weight, it will dive over as soon as it crosses that 4-foot line, but it's going to stay out there. So here we go. He likes the line. They're sweeping hard now. Hard for line. Chris got it hard for line. They're really dragging it in. So now they switch just to get a little bit more curl there at the end. They're really sweeping it, trying to drag it back. Just trying to outcount this back one. And they did lock it in there. It has a little bit of space, maybe 2 inches. I don't really think there's no real penalty for coming at this and really trying to bounce it around. You can get that third one to count. I don't know how you do that though, because if you really bounce it, it's still going to tick that yellow. Again, it's hard to see on the overhead shot, but it's now those rocks are not straight lined up. It's just a little offset. So this may be just a straight draw for 2, but we'll see. He might feel like he needs to get that. It's got good weight. They're staying off it the whole way. They like the line. They like the line. Nope, just a little clean there. So they just need it to curl a bit. It's coming in pretty hard. They're trying to sweep it to curl just a bit. And, oh, it bounced up. Oh, wow, it's really close. They're looking back and forth. Yeah, it just hung out there a bit on the edge. I'm assuming since they took the yellow out that it was red, and that would be 1 yellow. And so we'll go back to the full-on look. So got another, looks like, yep. So as we go across, we do have a final for you. So the semifinal, Newfield. We call them Full House because they have 3 different clubs. So it's LaSalle, Portage, and Palmetto, a GNCC mishmash, and a Canadian GNCC mishmash. But then they did shake after 6 ends there. So it looks like on sheet A, we've got an 8-5 game with plenty of rocks in the house. It looks like yellow's on the button, and then it looks like red's sitting second shot. So they were trying to guard that, uh, that guard this, the one that's sitting shot, that steal. They're going full aggressive steal here. So our second, oh yeah, we're down right here. So it does feel like they do feel like that if they on A, it seems to be curling the same. Both sheets, both ranks of people have come off and said A is very fair. It's curling both ways. Big shout out to Frank. Frank the Iceman cometh. He he he's done an excellent job. I mean, we have really been super pleased with the ice. People that know a lot about curling, not this guy. I just commentate. Say that the ice is phenomenal. All right, so as we get in the hack here, Bob Hogan from Peachtree, he's looking to curl around this and maybe even tap this back a bit. So he's got his sweepers on it early. He wants this thing to hold. We're sweeping for line. They're sweeping hard, and then they switched. They must needed a little curl at the end. It just over curled. Just tapped that in, created two corner guards. So it looks like a steal of one there. Steal of one for Jennings Rink from Charlotte. Really, yeah, tough position to be in because you got to throw that at some weight to get it to tap back and be shot, but also, so that means you got to tighten up your line. All right, on sheet C, looks like a really wide open sheet. We're not a lot of rocks in play. We're early on in this end, but we're bringing it in, and then they're trying to hit. So again, we're seeing this over and over again, folks. Anything outside that 4 foot, it's staying pretty straight. And so as soon as you get inside that 4 foot and it comes to the hog line, it's going to move a whole stone even at weight. So playing that has proved to be a little difficult for the skips and the other players. So um, it looks like I, after looking at this, it looks like we have. Yeah, Bob Hogan Rink is throwing second shot, so they just threw through on the first shot there on rink A. And they just need a guard. They're in full on trying to get a multiple shots, um, so they may be throwing through again here, or maybe throw it in just as a probing strategy. But it looks like the handle they're throwing, they're just throwing it through again. So, yep. So there's Sylvia just throwing through. They're going to keep this nice and clean on A, try and get to the eighth end. They've got their hammer. So, well, they're all sweeping really hard. Definitely don't want to guard here. So maybe we'll take a look. It looks like it's just a wide corner guard. Uh, just got out into that frost out in the 12 foot. Yeah, they C and D as we do the commentating. Just remember that we're in the seventh end of a back-to-back after a long weekend. So we call it the C in this case the E and F draw slog. So they're trying to it's an event final, and there's a little bit of pumped up and adrenaline, but by this time everybody's legs are just whooped and shoulders are tired of sweeping. So sometimes these ends at the end, it's just who can kind of keep their mental focus, who can keep their slides very consistent, and who can keep those rocks kind of moving. So as we get the second from the other rink, there you go. Let's see, it's still going to stick around. That's not really what they wanted. They wanted to clear that. So nice shot from Bill Marshall. Got two of them out of there. Just brought a big amount of weight, cleared those guards on sheet D to give himself a shot to try and, try and limit this damage. There he had potentially four, looking at 4 or 5, and that hit kind of took that out of the equation. So they are still sitting, looks like 3, still sitting 3, but um, they do have hammer, so they may be able to get that. So I keep. You will hear the smooth musings of the warm room '80s jam. This is the theme for this week. It's our eighth grits and granite. Eighth grits and granite. So it's hot '80s. Everybody's just rolling in after a wonderful after prom party last night. There was a very popular Bloody Mary bar. It seemed to be being used as soon as the bar was allowed to be open. ABC laws here in North Carolina are that you cannot open the bar on Sundays until 10 a.m. So about 10:03, the Bloody Mary bar became very popular. So Bill's trying to figure out a way here to find out whether he can get it down. Just cut them down. Try and get them to where they're only scoring one. And we're on second vice rocks here on sheet C. So the Fred's got one under cover, and we are Fred and Carl's stone. They're not sweeping it. They as it comes past the hog line. They like the look of this. They may lock it right on. So as Fred sweeps it, he gets it lined up really nicely. Uh, it's right outside of the 4 foot. So Bill's trying to throw this at just big weight on sheet D. It does sail through, and that might do it there, folks, on the sixth event final. Yeah, will they shake? I think that's what it is. So there we go. So and there's the shakes. Yeah. And so even though they hung 4 on that one, folks, um, congratulations. That's your sixth event final winners, Crosby from Peachtree. We'd like to say congratulations. So there it is. Congratulations also to the Marshall sheet. They had to come from they had to play 6 games this weekend too. That's a lot of curling. So as Fred gets in and takes his first skip stone, it looks like Red does have hammer here. So that was a takeout on sheet C that they missed. But Fred's going to try to guard this up. He doesn't want this going too deep, just lining it up right in a line, making this draw really hard, not giving great angles. So Carl's going to sweep that a little bit, and that's going to be a really nice shot from Fred. It's going to be lined up. Just, that one guard that's sitting out there, that red guard that you can barely see in your picture, way towards the center of the screen. Doesn't look like it's doing much, but that is actually halfway covering the button. So that leave right there with that guard was really nice because it makes it so it's. I, I, I changed it. Yeah, it was. So, so, so here we go. So this is going to be a tough shot from Wall because he looks like he's trying to draw the button here. This is a really tight shot. We're going to zoom in on it, let you see. And they've got him on the hard sweep coming into your picture, folks. They're really going for a tight line. They just need it to hold. It hit the guard. Gosh, this is a really tight ice. They're just trying to get in a good spot. It ends up biting on the top of the 12. But Fred is looking here to steal two. Steal two would be a real big turn of events here coming for the eighth end. So these last couple of stones. And I'll give you a quick color commentating on sheet A. So we've only got A and C are the only two sheets that still have games going as we head to our final round of games. Just to look forward to our next draw, we'll have the A, B, C, and D final. So first, second, and third, and fourth event finals. So you'll see a lot of the same, or two of the same teams out here, four of the same teams. And then we'll add in our first and second event finals. I know a lot of times it's A and D, so we just call it events here so we can kind of see. That is a really nice shot on A. Really nice through a tiny port. And Fred's trying to lock onto this red, just not create an angle. I think the angle's still there, though. It's going to be tough. We're going to see. I mean, they're taking a look at it. It just didn't curl. It just over curled maybe 3 inches. So when Chris and Matt are kind of looking at it, they would just love for this to be a quick run back, get your one, go to the next end. So we're on the last zone. Matt's taking a look at this. I mean, he keeps looking at this run back. So really nice rock from sheet A. So here we go. So as Matt skates down and talks to his front end. Big shout out to if you're a fan of curling, definitely follow Front End Secrets on Twitter. They've got a lot of witty repartee. All right, so Max in the hat. He comes out. Really happy with the broom there. They're just cleaning, but now they're sweeping hard. They really feel like they need to sweep. Again, out wide, it's just not curling as much as they expect. So as it kind of comes through, he might be able to second. That's what they were trying to do, is do that, but it just didn't stop quick enough. So steal of two to tie the score going into the eighth end. A big steal of two. That's got to give them a little bit of confidence that they can steal their way to a victory. Steal is not normally how it's done, folks, when you're down that way. But it's all about having momentum. If you feel like here at the end, the last end, coming down to the eighth end, it's just like, do you feel like the shots are going to go your way? Can you do it? So Fred predictably calls a center guard, and he's going to go full aggressive steal here. He has to. It is the game. So Bob Hogan's looking to get by, sneak by this, and try and get a tap for two. He just got a little bit too much, a little bit too heavy. So it looks like we still got one skip stone left on A. Yeah, one for each team. And yellow's got a potential big end, or big steal end. They're sitting second and third, and it looks like, but it looks like Paul's just kind of calling for a draw here, just trying to put another one in, make it harder to get rid of them all, limit your damage. So, and looks like Matt's just calling for a rock in the house. Just need something to stick around. Start to shrink the rings. It's just a little bit. I mean, that line has gotten really. We've moved over to the Hogan Jennings game. Last couple stones of this end. So it looks like Paul's getting in the hack. So we're going to. So as the stone is delivered, they're just looking for a button shot right here. Sweepers are sweeping, but then they're up. So as it comes to the hog line, they're just needing this. Oh, they needed to over curl. They just got up on it. They went with the plan B, just draw right to that. Really nice weight, right in on top of that yellow, and then Mr. Jennings gives a fist in the air, make that skip rock, make it really tough on them to get anything but just their one. That was a really nice line. It looks like that was the line they were calling the whole way. As soon as it was out of his hand, they weren't sweeping. They saw that port there. They saw that they could draw back to that red right through there. Nice little port. And they got it right there. It looks like red still shot. But that's going to be a really tough second one to get. There you go. Really nice sweep on sheet C. We can, we'll get you right back to sheet C. You guys are going to be really happy with this. But this is our last stone on this sheet. So he's going to try and just sit two, I guess. Try and just follow that in. Just follow it in and let it over curl. Maybe he can hit it. Now they're wanting to do that. So there you go. We're going to quickly go back to sheet C. And we just flipped that right over there. And you guys see that red rock right there. That was a credit to the sweepers. That thing papered that rock, just barely got through. And then sits on the top 8. So what Fred does is he calls a little bit more ice and is like, well, get that out of here. We don't really even need that. So if this just hits and sticks, to just kind of bring that through. And if it hits it, great. And if it puts another guard out there, then that's okay too. So now we got a center guard and a corner guard. And Matt says, we're going to take control of this end. We're going to put this thing right on top. Make it so you can't remove both. Start to make this a draw game. So it looks like they shook down on sheet A. So we're going to stick with sheet C. That one going into the eighth. They still had plenty of time to play, but stealing three with how they have been playing, that would have been a tall order. So good curling. So you will see them again coming up in our next broadcast. I am pretty sure we are starting our finals at 1:30. So 1:20 will be the piping on ceremony. I don't know how much of that will get on the internet, but our warm room is now happily lively and full. So we keep putting the gate up, and so it may seem like I'm a little louder, my voice is a little louder. It's just that we're going to keep putting the gate up for the warm room, so it will have a background warm room. Thanks, Maribel. I appreciate your comment. Yeah. So, well, we've been watching some exciting curling, so it doesn't give me much of a chance to look back at the comments. So now Fred is calling. We just want. If you notice, folks, we see the skips are learning right over this whole thing. We're he's just got one on the T line there. He just wants to sit right on top of that, make it so it's hard to get rid of. Tap that back just a bit. Basically, he's told his team that being light here is not acceptable. So we're going to get on the sweep hard. So they're sweeping hard. They're trying to get here. Anything but light. Well, it is in play, so they're okay with that. It is guarding up that red unexpectedly. So it's not going to be a clean end, definitely. If you were picking things to do here at the end, you would really, if you're Matt, you want this end clean. If you're Fred, you want this end junked up. Hopefully, getting a tap back or some kind of run back or a raise or even a draw. Just protecting your. If you're Fred, you want that because then there's plenty of junk up there. And if you're able to get one closer, then that gives you a great chance to steal. If you're Matt or the Red Rocks, you want this fairly wide open, which is why Matt's calling. Looks like he's calling for a guard here. Guard that yellow. Make that run back a double run back. Make it really tough. All right. As Ian gets in the hack, they're sweeping hard. They are absolutely sweeping hard. They're worried that it's just a bit light. Looks like it's running, though. They might have changed their call. This may get by the yellow. This is little tap. That's okay. The sweepers are a little disappointed. They wanted that thing to be a little higher up. So we can always blame the sweepers. As we're watching these last few shots of this end, we're on to First Vice's rocks. So it looks like we're having a really tight ice. You've noticed over the whole course of this end that we've just been tighten up that line, because it's not curling much, especially at the bigger weights. So we're putting it right on the rock. Wants just to hit and roll under. It's a big chance for yellow to have a great position to steal. No sweeping on it. They're a little worried that he flared it out a bit. They're coaxing it back. They're coaxing it back, and it just never came back. They have the right line there, folks. It's really tough um, to throw within a 3-inch tolerance out there. Just happens. So as Chris gets into the hack, they're looking to guard this up. They're just looking to guard that hit, keep that. So they're happy with it. I think, folks, that it looks like it's just coming through the hog line. As it comes into your picture, you're going to notice it's going little, a little hot. So they're going to sweep it. He changed it just a bit. He waited and waited and waited, and then just swept that. So it ended up where he wanted it. That little tick is there. So now we're gonna, as Carl slides back, definitely this last end. Both vices are coming down between each shot, so makes sense. They're trying to make sure that they have exactly this. Everybody's on the same page. So here we go. We're trying for a double here. This is the intern double. They're just trying to pick the red and then maybe clean it. So it's coming. It's coming over. They may have hit that red. Oh, flashed it. Just being a touch wide on either side. Really tough shot. That's a really precise shot, folks. Hard to really do that. So now red really looks good. So now they're just going to gum up the ports, make it so these have to be run back doubles instead of just doubles. As you can tell in the background, the warm room is now filling up. Everybody's awake. This weight looks a lot better. They're a lot happier with it. The sweepers. Oh, it picked on something, and it's coming back. It's doing an S curve, folks. I have no. Sometimes you gotta just wonder what the heck. Yeah, that curling there. It didn't hit anything but just a little marble in the front. So it slowed way down and is now a one guy guard. So I don't know. They're okay with that. Being outside the 4 foot, that hit's still there, but we're definitely a little disappointed. At the end of a match, you'll see high-level teams. They'll clean the ice. They'll clean the ice the whole time. They're just cleaning the ice. Put a lot of handle on it. Learned that. Talking to some high-level curlers is that you will see them put extra handle on the last couple rocks of an end occasionally. Just worried about that pick, because if you've got it spinning a lot, just makes sense. If there's a little something there, it may hit that thing and just spin it right off. And instead of picking it, it kind of just keeps its little thing true. But if you need it to curl a bunch, can't be putting a lot of handle on it. All right, so here's Fred coming in here. It looks like he's going to try this hit. Just a straight, it's not really a double, but it's definitely a hit. He's just trying to hit the nose of this red. Keep as many reds as he can, but then knock this the back red so where it's locked on, and it's focused in on here. So we won't be able to see the whole thing. So it's coming in hot. It's just a bit wide. But it still might get the result that he likes. And that hit 2 rocks. And if you notice the action of that rock, folks, take note of that. When you have a rock and it hits the high side, we've been talking about that for 2 draws, hits the high side and then hits another rock, it's actually going to bounce backwards. So occasionally you'll see really high-level curlers actually play that and actually go or what's around the world or around the horn. So there's 3 rocks there in the back, and that second rock, if you hit on the high side, then have it hit, and then it'll just bounce backwards and maybe knock out that third one. Our rocks don't have as much action. Okay, let's see if that took away some of the background noise. If you're listening on there, if you could go to Charlotte Curling YouTube channel and go ahead and comment. We just enabled something, and it may take away some of the background noise. If that happened just in the last few seconds, go ahead and let us know. Here we go. Trying to get a guard. Maybe guard that back one. It's going to be close. It's putting another one. It doesn't look like it's even second shot or third shot, so just a bit heavy, and just a bit wide. So Fred's got a final stone for yellow, and really, unless he's shot, there's not going to be a red stone thrown. So we're right in tight. Fred and Carl are kind of trying to work on the line here. Even if what Carl's saying there and what they're pointing to is even if it's behind the tee line, and theoretically you can give them a follow in for one, then that's okay. And then what's Carl saying there is he's like, if it ticks this red and then just rolls in, we're still giving them a good look. So they've got it pretty well guarded here. If it just the only thing that they may not be thinking about is if they end up leaving this a little heavy, it actually lines up the angle really nicely where you can just hit the red, run the red back into it. You have backing. There's no real reason. So over curling here is actually really tough. Excellent. We're glad to hear it, Maronius. Yeah, we're playing. This is version 1.0, and here we go. Fred's Rock's coming down. They are playing the little bit of a hit here and hit and roll in. So they're sweeping it hard. Definitely hard for line. Just trying to get this thing not to curl. And then, oh, you could tell. And they're shaking. It's really really a that line was giving the bow skips trouble all game long. So very nice job. Congratulations, the 5th event winners. And so the pineapple pants did work for Chris Berry. Congratulations to everybody. We're going to take a break here. We've got a little bit of time. We will see about the about doing the piping ceremony, but we'll be back on here about 5-10 minutes before. So we'll give you the rundown. We'll do a full end sheet commentary for this last A final. We'll focus on the A and the B final, but of course, if there's good shots and good scores, we'll stick with it. Thanks, y'all. Good curling.